Welcome to day 11 of our 21-day online course. My name is Mark and I'm in northern New Jersey, and this is Sahaja Yoga, which means it's always free. This is something that is the potential of every human being, so there's no way you can purchase it. So just get ready for your foot soak because our first guided meditation will include that cleansing treatment. If you're new, and you are returning, but you forgot something or want to review something from an earlier program, it's no problem at all because we have a website, which you'll see a link to it later in the program, where you can see all the recorded programs and handouts, including the one we'll be giving out tonight. Also, at the end of this program, you can use the Zoom chat. If you're in the Zoom, to ask for a breakout room and talk one-on-one with a Sahaja Yoga teacher. You can also use the Zoom chat feature to just ask a question to somebody in the Zoom chat who is going to answer the question directly in a chat. The other way to get tremendous support is to have a mentor, someone who's there to take every step with you and give you support, sometimes a little bit of guidance, and essentially establish a strong friendship, someone who's going to see you grow and expand in Sahaja Yoga. So many people have requested a mentor. We have over 100 people requesting. So be a little bit patient as we match the best person in terms of geography, time zone, and things like that. Now, this is the 21-day intensive program. So yes, we are on air 21 days in a row, 7 days a week. But what's going to happen when we reach day 21 on February 14th? Then there will be a 2-week break, and then we will return. And it'll be a little bit less intense. It'll be 3 days a week, and it'll run for 7 weeks. So 3 times 7 means it'll be another 21-day course. Yesterday, we began to focus on our subtle body, these different energy centers within us, and we started one of the key principles, our inner master. And that's the guru principle, and that was some area that we call the void. So today we begin going through the main 7 chakras, and so we'll be looking at the Mooladhara Chakra. It's at the very base of our subtle system, and it is known as the support. It is like the root chakra. And the essence of the Mooladhara Chakra is purity, innocence, joy, wisdom, and simplicity. So we'll really have a chance to explore just those qualities, what they mean for us in our life and in our becoming our true selves. So today is a full program. We'll have 2 guided meditations with 2 presenters. And we'll also have a video presentation, an excerpt from one of Shri Mataji's talks, the founder of Sahaja Yoga. We'll have a live music performance. And at the end, if you still want to remain in the program, we'll have a question and answer session. And we'll invite the presenters to join me to answer your questions. So I'd like to introduce now our 2 presenters, Andre and Shivani. So welcome, Andre. Welcome, Shivani. Andre, tell me a little bit about yourself. You're in Saskatchewan. What else do we know about
Hello,
you?
Canada. Where this morning when I got out of the house, it was to go to work. It was minus 20 something, and my reaction was, "Oh my God, it's so much nicer than yesterday." So, fun fact.
And and that's 20 degrees
Well, way
below
nicer
freezing.
today. I'm not joking. I'm a little lucky because I see babies to make a living. I see them as their doctors, as their doctor in the neonatal ICU. And well, I'm so glad for you having me here and enjoying this tremendous opportunity of being in a meditative state with lots of people who really desire to go inside and go upwards.
All right. So I hope you stay warm enough and cool enough in Sahaja terms. Hello, Shivani. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi everyone. As Mark said, my name is Shivani and I'm originally from Australia, but I'm coming to you today from Vancouver in Canada as well. It is also cold here, but not as cold as Saskatchewan, so that's it's good for us. Um, I've been practicing Sahaja Yoga for my whole life, and I'm excited to share a meditation experience with everyone today.
Fantastic. So let me also give a little bit of information about our musician who is right now getting ready to go live later in the program. His name is Shaktidar, and he is a very accomplished flute player. He's played in concerts in India and in many different countries. He plays a traditional flute called a bansuri, and he is a teacher of this instrument as well for many of us who practice Sahaja Yoga, not only in the US, but in other countries as well. So it'll be a treat to hear from the master a bit later. So now let me turn it over to Andre for our first guided meditation.
So today we are revolving a little bit around the first chakra, the Mooladhara Chakra. As you will see on the slide, this is the chakra that supports our mother energy, or Kundalini. It is situated under it. It controls a lot of our pelvic area and organs, and it has four what we call subplexuses or petals. It is both a very powerful as well as very, very complex chakra. And when we talk about projection areas, we feel it right where you see the red dot at the very base of our palm, or on our foot, we might feel it right in the heel area. And it cannot be overemphasized how important this chakra is. The whole system keeps this, rectitude on the power of this chakra. There is something totally eternal about its power, because innocence is part of the truly smallest ultrastructure of the creation, right? That the creation as such is innocent. Our mind can go a little bit off, but once we manage to go beyond thought, we automatically return to that innocence that's all pervading, really. So we will start with a little bit of clearing, and during that we will move with the power of this chakra a little bit through the system, and we'll see how it works. So I hope everybody has their foot soak close to them, and we can first start by doing some giving some vibration or putting a bandhan on it, essentially asking the mother energy to give it the quality, the power needed to absorb negativity and heat from our system. So we can ask that in our heart, and then give it a few turns, and then we will take a dip. And once we do that, we will invite the mother energy to rise relatively slowly with full attention in the left hand, all the way up. Open the neck really nicely as we go up. That's important. And make this big knot, this big request to the mother energy to keep flowing, to always be up there. Very good. And then we will do the bandhan, the protection part. Again, not very fast, and going really down from the hip to the hip. And in one of the occasions when Shri Mataji explains this, she uses the word respect. We should do this with respect. It's an interesting word. We can meditate on that. Respect to ourselves, respect to the divine power. Very good. So then we can put both hands on our lap, nice and open, without trying to achieve anything special. Because we are already more than we can ever try to achieve. So we should be happy to be that. And look at that amazing, reassuring smile of Mataji that all we have to do is discover how amazing we actually are. We can gently close our eyes. And start by accepting in our heart that we are the pure spirit, the pure self. Then we can put both hands towards the Mother Earth. And the element of the first chakra of the Mooladhara is the earth. So the Mother Earth is instrumental in clearing the whole system and more specifically this chakra. And first, think with great gratitude about the Mother Earth. She truly is our mother. We cannot exist. There would be no us without her. Gives us everything. She tolerates everything we do. Oh, Mother Earth, thank you for all your gifts. Thank you for giving us the material existence. Please help us clear our subtle body. Please help completely strengthen and purify our Mooladhara Chakra. And through it, our entire being. First chakra is outside the passage of our Kundalini, of our mother energy. So it is the power of this chakra that assists the mother energy in its ascent. But the mother energy cannot help cleanse this chakra. We have to do it ourselves. Through our attention, through our desire, and with the help of the Mother Earth. And of course, with the help of the divine power. In a concentrated way, we can say that in this chakra lives our eternal child, the personality and the powers of the eternal child. But we can ask, O divine power, please help us completely awaken, strengthen, and establish the eternal child within us. We can ask that a few times from our heart. Very good. Now let's put the left hand on our lap. Leave the right hand towards the Mother Earth. For our left side, we will ask, Oh Mother, please fill our left channel with divine innocence. And let it manifest as pure joy. Good. Now let's put the right hand back on our lap and put the left hand up to help the right side. And here we will ask a few times, Oh Mother, please fill our right channel with divine innocence, and please let it manifest as pure wisdom. Very good. And then let's cup our forehead and bend the head forward a little bit. When that eternal child evolves, it becomes the power of this chakra, which essentially overcomes all those thoughts and everything that accumulates in our ego and superegos. It's that powerful. So let's ask a couple of times, Mother, please completely establish the evolved form of the eternal child in our brain. Let our brain be completely washed by divine innocence, purity, and forgiveness. You can put the hand down. Gently open our eyes, rinse our feet, and pull the foot soak to the side and not worry about it too much right now. And then remain in this silence so we can absorb Shri Mataji's talk in the best conditions.
So actually we bow to innocence within us. And this innocence is the one gives you the enlightenment. As I told you yesterday, the light has innocence. But this is innocent without knowledge. But your light is innocent with knowledge. We always think that the people who have got knowledge can never be innocent, can never be simple. And the idea we have got about innocence is that an innocent person is always deceived, can be befooled, and can be always taken for granted. But innocence is a power. It is a power which protects you, which gives you light of knowledge. Knowledge that we have in the worldly sense is how to exploit others, how to cheat others, how to make money out of them, how to make fun of others, how to look down upon others. But the light of innocence is the light by which you know that love is the highest thing. And it teaches you how to love others, how to care for others, how to be gentle about others. It also gives you the light within. It's just the other way around of this avidya that we have in this world. Just the other way around. The avidya outside teaches us competition, how to put the other person down, because it has fear. It is insecure. This knowledge is not secure at all. If it had security, it would not have behaved like this. But the light of innocence knows everything. It has no fear. When we say children are innocent, we mean to say that they have that power of innocence. Many times people have noticed if a child falls from a height, he doesn't die, while a young man may die with a much smaller height. And the child is not afraid while falling. He just enjoys as if there's a parachute coming down, nicely. And then when he falls down also just gets up, laughs, smiles at everyone. He doesn't understand why everybody is worried. Because in that innocence he knows that he's looked after. He's protected. He knows that there is a power which is much higher than him, and he does not have to worry. Then we start putting ideas into the head of the child. And that is how he starts losing his power of innocence. And he becomes a coward. He becomes a cunning fellow. He becomes an unrighteous personality. But still we would say that the innocence of children is innocence of ignorance. In a way. Because they do not know the dangers of life. But the light of innocence knows all the dangers and also knows how to get rid of it. Also knows how to be away from such a person. There was a wise man who was going on a staircase. There was a stupid man coming from the other side, foolish man. So foolish people are always aggressive. That is one of the signs, because they have inferiority complex. So the foolish man says to the man who was coming up, he says, one had to move on one side. So he says, I don't move for fools, the foolish one says. So the wise man says, I do, and he moved. That's how the light of innocence tells you how far to go with a person, how far to talk to a person, how far to indulge in another person's personality or his problems. Otherwise he recedes. He understands that this gentleman is a stupid fool, so I move for a fool like that. He doesn't pay attention to such a person. He doesn't bother about such a person. This is the light of innocence which gives you discrimination. How far to go with others?
Let us all stay in this state while we listen to the music.
after listening to that beautiful flute, we can all just maintain our attention within ourselves. At one point or another, we've all come across the word Om. And the word Om represents creation. So the A represents creation itself. U represents the sustenance of the creation. And the M sound represents transformation. And that Om sound comes from the creation of the universe. And so in a similar way, the foundation of each of our subtle systems is the Mooladhara Chakra. It's the first chakra before the Kundalini, before the sacrum bone within our systems. And so when we say the word Om, that helps us clear out or balance our Mooladhara Chakra, which is the foundation within us. And we're all individually, our bodies, our systems, our subtle system, we're all universes individually. And so what we'll do is we'll say the word Om 3 times. And we'll try to maintain our attention on the Mooladhara Chakra and then see how we feel in our hands and see if we can feel settled and balanced within ourselves. And we can just maintain that silent state within us. Just for a few minutes. Let go of any thoughts of the future, of the past. Try and be in the present moment. If any thought comes to your mind, you can just say, not now, or I forgive. Being in thoughtless awareness should feel effortless. Holding your attention on a chakra or at the top of your head shouldn't feel like effort. So if you feel like your eyebrows are scrunched up, just relax. Just relax your shoulders. We'll stay in this silent state for just one more minute. If any thought comes to mind, just say, I forgive. And we can slowly open our eyes. And together we'll raise our kundalinis and take a bandhan. So like we did in the beginning, we'll slowly raise our left hand up with our right hand rotating around the left hand. We'll tie a knot at the top. We'll do this 3 times. Slowly with attention. We're placing our left hand on our lap. We'll make an arc around ourselves with our right hand 7 times. And with that, I will pass everyone back to our MC, Mark.
Thank you, Andre and Shivani, and especially Shaktidar, all the way from Canada and from India. So the next part of our program tonight will be questions and answers and feedback. And you'll have many opportunities to learn more about Sahaja Yoga by asking us, who have been practicing it for a while, a bit more about Sahaja Yoga. Before we get to that part of the program, I'll just make a few announcements. So there'll be a handout for tonight's program about the Mooladhara Chakra available on our website. And tomorrow we'll move to chakra number 2. And so then we will learn the essence of this chakra, the qualities that are awakened and strengthened through Sahaja Yoga, such as creativity, pure knowledge, pure desire, and especially pure attention, which very much relates to the state of our overall system, especially our first chakra. So here is the QR code to our web page, and this is where you can find out about previous programs, get the link to the program happening that day, and if there is a handout, it's stored there as a PDF for you to download. You also will find the link to our WhatsApp group, so that's another way to get some daily support and feedback about Sahaja Yoga. And in the Zoom chat, we're also posting the link to the mentor forum. So if you want to work one-on-one with a Sahaja Yoga teacher, maybe somebody you met in a breakout room or somebody you've seen on the screen, then this is a chance to request a mentor, and we'll do our best to make sure there's somebody who is in your time zone, and that'll be a successful collaboration in your spiritual growth. So now here's a chance for us to hear from you, and you can type in the Zoom chat to breakout room help and say, I have a question and I want to talk to a Sahaja teacher. So then you'll get into a breakout room with somebody who's been practicing Sahaja Yoga for some time. And you also can just have a chat by typing a question to chat Q&A. And that person, who also is somebody who's been practicing Sahaja Yoga for some time, will do their best to answer your question. Or the other way to give feedback to us and ask us a question is to send a message to me, the MC for the program, and I will present it to our presenters and get their input. So we may not get to every question, but we'll do our best in the time allotted to our program, which we try to aim for about an hour in total. So now I invite our presenters back, Andre and Shivani. And here's the first question. We talked about the quality of childlike simplicity. And boy, are our brains complicated, and boy, is the world a complicated place, just figuring out the receipt from a grocery store. How have you experienced the quality of childlike simplicity, Andre?
Well, I'm a little lucky because my life is around children, and then babies for many years. So it doesn't get any more simpler than that in some way. Um, and then there's the Sahaja aspect of it where you sort of realize that um, that simplifying your the way you look at the world, right? That there is really no need for a lot of our mental activity. Um, and when you see where you're around children and you see how they deal to the world, they deal with the world, suddenly it feels an extraordinary privilege that we have some path to kind of go back to that. And I guess how well we're each doing, probably it's better told by the people around, but
All right. Shivani, how have you experienced childlike simplicity in your life?
Yeah, well, I found that like whenever I'm in a state of balance, it's easier to remain joyful and spontaneous, and I feel confident to be myself and not overthink and not worry about the future or the past, just like a child would. They're, in their own little world, innocent, and they don't really worry about things. And you find that, well, I find that when I meditate, when I'm in balance, it's a lot easier for me to just enjoy each moment and not worry about things or not overthink things and just I found it also in meditating with my friends or hanging out with my friends. This effortless sense of belonging and joy really comes through, and so I feel like that's where that childlike simplicity is in my life.
A very beautiful word about childlike quality, the effortlessness of it. The 2-year-old doesn't sit down and do a big plan. What am I going to
Mhm.
do next? They're just doing it. And there's a funny story because there's an exercise that's sometimes done in groups to kind of build group cohesion and group cooperativeness, where you give people a stack of very sort of unusual materials and you say, build something, build a tower out of these very sort of oddball materials. And they've done it where they have a group of children in one team and a group of expert engineers in the other team. And the children just start building stuff and it falls down. So then they try another one, falls down. Then they try another one. Like they just jump right into it. And the engineers are sitting there with the pads of paper and the notes and drawing diagrams and having a big plan and having a conference. And the children often will win the contest of the first one to build a stable tower out of these oddball materials. And it just shows that sometimes the best thing in life is just to jump in and have that childlike simplicity. Okay, let's see here. Looking for, okay. Okay. Actually, an interesting question for Shivani. What's it like if you do Sahaja Yoga for a very long time? What's your life like?
It's interesting. It's a really good question. I've been meditating ever since I was a baby because my parents were both meditating, and so I've learned from them all of the techniques and all about the subtle system and Sahaja Yoga. And as a kid, I found it very, very easy to meditate. Like I would see, my parents talking to other people and trying to explain it to them, and they'd be like explaining that they're finding it difficult to go silent. And as a kid, I remember thinking, "Oh, really? Like what? Okay." Like it didn't register to me because I didn't really understand. But then as I grew older, I started to notice that like going into thoughtless awareness would become more difficult. I'd be thinking about more things and worried about more things. And so now I can see that as a kid, it was sometimes easier to just be able to switch into that state of thoughtlessness because you're just by default more in the present. But as you go through life, there's more challenges that you face and more stressors that come into your environment. And it's really important to maintain that balance in your Mooladhara Chakra by actually working on it and meditating every day. And through that, I found that I can get into that thoughtless state like I did when I was a kid, but it just requires that constant meditation every day to remain balanced. And it's still there. And it's like Shri Mataji said in the speech, it's innocence that you have to maintain, but now you have the knowledge as well. So yeah, it's definitely that childlike innocence never leaves you, but you have to make sure that you pay attention to it and keep nurturing your own subtle system and your Mooladhara Chakra to maintain that ease of going to thoughtless awareness.
And then for people like me and Andre, who were not raised by people who practice Sahaja Yoga, I discovered Sahaja Yoga in my mid-20s, sort of on my own. Awakening the qualities of the Mooladhara Chakra, do you notice in what ways that changed you?
I mean, I think because the Mooladhara is outside the path, it's not easy to be. The awareness of it is a little bit different than the awareness about the other chakras. And I don't know how to say it, I experience in a different way. It's more about the background, right? So the rest, it's the painting, but the canvas and how the fact that it's still hanging, it's not all falling apart. It's really that comes from the Mooladhara, right? So I don't know how to, and this is why when something's not okay, especially if something is, more significantly not quite okay, going and making sure that the Mooladhara is okay is always the first step to fix anything. And the powers that flow through it are a huge part of cleansing and balancing any chakra, any part of the system. And this takes practice to feel what I'm saying, when you're really trying to clear something, and you start with trying to awaken more and strengthen more the power that comes from the Mooladhara, and you feel how much that works by itself, right? Without any specifics of the chakra or the whatever, right? Yeah, maybe a little long-winded, but it's a complex question.
All right, and a question for the doctor. Somebody's asked, at what point in the body would you focus your attention so that you know you are at the Mooladhara Chakra?
Well, the focusing of the attention is a subject that we could spend many weeks talking about. The attention comes from our right side. And obviously, at the end of the day, the ultimate point in this process is to become the spirit. So things happen kind of upwards. And the attention on the chakra, there has to be only so much attention of it, because then we automatically kind of slide towards the right. So to stay in the center and to keep going upwards. So this is something that everybody again has to practice. How do we look at something from the perspective of the spirit, not from the perspective of the body, because the minute we say that, we've moved to the right already. So then we have to drop that to go back to the center. So how to find that spot where we can look at the chakra without sliding? This is only practice, and this is kind of how I can put it into words. How do you do that, Mark?
It's a very difficult question to answer, isn't it? I was once told while I was meditating in India with Shri Mataji, and there was somebody there who was a medical doctor, and they gave a location down in the excretory area of the body, and then they said, now go in, and it took a lot of attention. And so we would do that for a few seconds, and then we were told to relax our attention. So as you're saying, the danger is to get so focused on exactly on a particular chakra that we miss the point, which is relax, let go, let the Kundalini work, let the power of the Mother Earth that we sit on to help clear this chakra, let that power of pulling out the negativity, let it just happen. And not be too concerned about finding the precise locations. Sometimes you just find them. It just happens when you're meditating. Okay, a few people have asked me directly as the MC that they would like a breakout room. So unfortunately, I don't have the power to put you into a breakout room. So as a housekeeping note to those people that are saying, I'd like a breakout room, or any other kind of questions about the people that are going to put you into a breakout room with the Sahaja Yoga teacher, send your request to breakout room help. So kind of scroll through the different people who can receive messages in the Zoom chat, and you'll find breakout room help. Okay. Okay, and then interesting question here.
If
Oh,
I
you
might
wanted to say
just,
something,
sorry, yeah,
Shivani?
I just wanted to add something just for that previous question that, like you and Andre had mentioned, it's hard to kind of pinpoint a certain specific point to put your attention to when you say the Mooladhara chakra or any chakra. But if somebody's like really looking for like a very practical, literal answer, if you sit on the ground cross-legged, where your body touches the ground, that is the Mooladhara chakra. So that's the base of your existence, basically, where your Mooladhara chakra, or just below your spine, where your subtle system starts. And again, like Andre mentioned, over thinking the where do I put my attention part actually will distract you from the main aim, which is going silent and going beyond the thoughts. So if you're at this moment not sure where that is, and if someone says put your attention on the Swadhisthana chakra or the Mooladhara chakra, and you're just not sure, your best bet is to just try and maintain a thoughtless state and keep your attention above your head. So, and then through practice and getting a little bit of a vibrational awareness on your hands and also all over your body, because each nerve plexus, which that's what we call the chakras, they are not just on that one spot in your body. They're on your hands and they're on your feet and your legs and your arms. And slowly through practice, you'll be able to understand through experiencing the vibrations where those chakras are in your system.
Also, something interesting happens to me when I go looking to find that point of my attention inside my subtle being, that whether or not I actually find it accurately, geographically, I notice that I go very quiet, that my attention is going so far in and it's no longer grabbing on all that external stimulation, all that input, that instead I notice that my attention is probably going to Sahasrara just automatically because it's a very quiet searching that's going on. It's inward. Um, so interesting question. I'll send it maybe back to Shivani. How, and Shamaji mentions this in her talk, but how on earth can being more like a child actually protect us or help us?
Yeah, so when you're more like a child, you tend to approach things with a simplicity and the trust of a child. And so when we're connected to our own spirit through meditation, we are free from our ego and complications, and we basically surrender ourselves to that mothering energy within us, which is the Kundalini. And you'll notice that the more that you clear out your Mooladhara chakra, the more balanced it is. You'll feel that you suddenly have this intuition where you'll get this wisdom and you'll be able to navigate through what's right and wrong a lot more easily. And you'll find it in strange ways, like you'll be like, I don't really feel like going to this place today. I might just do something else. And later you'll find out that it was actually the best thing for you because you avoided XYZ problems that could have come up. That's just a simple example, but you're basically bringing back that childlike trust in your own mother to give you that intuition and to guide you effortlessly.
Wow. Anything you want to add, Andre?
Well, I mean, again, back to the children's world. Um, you know, everybody knows this, that from when we're babies, if there's one person that holds us, the baby will cry. And then if there's another person, the baby will be all happy. So when we're in the child state, we have this automatic recognition of positivity, of sincere love, have you noticed that, I mean, whatever, 3, 4, 5, sometimes 6 and 7 year old, that might not even know you at all. And if you treat like a full person and they really feel that you really love them, you can ask them anything and they will never, almost never, they'll say, yes, sure. And they'll either do it or go with you or whatever. But you can't fake it. I mean, you really can't. 99% of the time, you can't. I never say 100%, right? But that's automatic. It is built, and it never disappears, right? We're still the same X 5-year-old, right? So that sense is there, and when that kind of comes back, we don't need analysis. we just navigate, and it's really that's what we're trying to bring back. And that's an extraordinary, tremendous asset state.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, being around small children is sort of like the barometer of how clean and how pure is my attention. So one day I was holding one of my nieces, and they were very little. They were, I don't know, probably not even a year old. And she fell asleep while I was holding her. And the mother, my sister, said, she never does that. And for me, it was all right. You know, this child feels such a sense of peace and comfort and serenity in my arms. And I guess I'm not doing so bad doing this meditation. It looks like it is working and making me a very peaceful and person that a small child will feel very comfortable and, trusting and just fall asleep. So that's pretty cool. Um, so Andre, we live in this amazing world of this relentless stuff that sort of comes after us through social media, through the logarithms, through, the people we meet, through the marketing that is everywhere. How on earth can we protect our inner child, and how do you protect your inner child?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I have probably, again, I'm a little extra lucky because of my job and how my life works. That I have constant reminder of the goal. And it's much easier. And the other thing is, um, when we are under this bombardment, one of the ways I deal with it is alternatives, right? So instead of sort of putting the hand in the pocket and taking the phone out, just finding something that we know it's positive, it's calming, it's peaceful, has good vibrations, um, be it whatever, images, poetry, an activity. So there has to be a certain amount of deliberation about it, at least as much as I can tell, especially if we live lives where there has to be a lot of focused attention and a little bit of reflection, right? um, we need to be aware of the need of balance, and slowly we understand what we need to balance it with, right? But there is a deliberation process here. I don't know what somebody who kind of came up sort of through the natural ranks rather than the from the adult stage. How do you think about that, Yuan?
Like you said, like nurturing that innocence through, just art, creativity, just, you know, like Mark gave the example before with the engineers and the children. Just sometimes I find that I just paint and I don't put any expectations on whether it's going to come out good or not, and I just allow myself to be thoughtless and to just create whatever comes out and enjoy it. And another thing that really helps me, nurture that inner child within myself is to just enjoy nature and to enjoy the my friends around me and other yogis who I get the opportunity to meditate with and to hang out with. And I find that meditating in nature, so just actually sitting on the earth, helps a lot because I'm sure everyone here has experienced it, where you're at a park and you take your shoes off and you put your feet in the grass and you just instantly feel so much better. And that's because that the quality of the earth, it's very linked to our own Mooladhara chakras, and yeah, that's some ways that I like to maintain that, protect that inner child, just nature and creativity and trying to be in the present moment and enjoy things.
Reminds me of a fun thing I heard about with some people who were practicing Sahaja Yoga, and they thought, let's have a bit more fun with our foot soak. So they went outside and they stood on the grass in their bare feet, and they just poured water over their feet. And so they had the water element and the earth element, and it was like the earth, not the salt of the earth, but the actual earth. And, going to the beach, you've got the water ahead of you, but you've also got the sand that you have to walk upon to get to the water. So there's lots of ways where we can interact with the elements. And if we go in with a bit of intentionality, like you are mentioning, both of you, then just with that desire, let my attention be cleaned out. Let me be completely in this moment and just absorbing what's happening around me. The phone is not out, not in front of me. um,
When I was a
then,
resident for 36 hours shift, and what the especially when I was completely dead and it had been absolutely crazy, I always stopped. This was in France, and we, took public transport from the hospital back home. And I always stopped. There was a bus stop which was right next to a children playing area, and I would just get off at that stop, uh, uh, just slump on a bench over there, and just watch the kids play until I felt human again. If it wasn't too much raining or too cold outside, I was taking my shoes off and just sit there as I literally until I felt human again. Then I went back into the bus and went home. Um, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how like just observing children and how simple they are and how they're just going with the flow. There's no planning, no thinking, and no overcomplicating things, and it's just great. It's where you want to be mentally. So yeah, yeah. I definitely enjoy that as well. Just hanging out with my little cousins and some friends' kids that, they really show you um the simplicity of, how you can just enjoy each moment, and you don't have to overthink things and overanalyze things. And it really just makes you confident to be yourself. I think that's another thing that, like, as an adolescent, as you're growing, you start to get all these like anxiety kind of feelings of like, oh, am I cool? Or, oh, like people don't like me. But when you're just innocent and just authentic and pure in your mind and in your heart, then life's easy. You don't have to overthink or worry about anything really. So yeah,
it's being
it's really important.
extremely well-read, educated, full of so many ideas and concepts and always absorbing new stuff. And it is really life-changing to figure out, okay, what if I was like a 2-year-old where you trip, you skin your knee, it hurts, you cry, and then 2 minutes later you're laughing and you don't sit down and write in your diary, man, oh man, 2 minutes ago I scraped my knee and it really hurt. And then the next day you're telling everybody, no, you're always in the moment. And you can pick up a child who has, hurt themselves or they're crying over a toy, and you just point to something like a tree or something and say, wow, look at that amazing tree. And they're instantly in that moment. There they are, soaking it all up and enjoying. And so that's an inspiration for me, deep thinker about so many things, um, that be in the moment and just see what's there in front of you and absorb, try to grow silent, and become effortless. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, now that you mentioned it, reminded me of um, Einstein, being the intellect that he was, would still, apparently, this is what I've heard, would still go, and when he was stumped by a concept or something that he couldn't figure out, he would blow bubbles and just forget about everything, and the answers would often just manifest in his mind through like removing all of the intellectual activity and just blowing bubbles, enjoying something very simple. So yeah.
Um, in our chakra chart, our diagram showing the energy centers, people might have noticed that we have the two channels, the right side and the left side. And the left channel begins with the Mooladhara Chakra, and it goes up to the part of the brain that is our superego. So one question today is maybe relating to the left side. Maybe Andre can help out here. They're saying, what if I feel tired a lot?
Well, all those the feelings that we have, um, again, it requires unpacking. And is it too much of something, too little of something, or both? And each of those, too much of something or too little of something, is it because of another couple of layers, right? So when we feel tired, just to give a short example of unpacking, it might simply be that we are actually working ourselves too hard in whichever way, right? Mentally, physically, emotionally, right? So we're doing a little too much of something, or it might be that our supply of whichever kind of layer of energy we require, it's a little short. And these are two slightly different things, right? And then it might be there is a little bit of both. We often in the West we are tired because our brain kind of feels tired of thinking so much. And that's a tough one because, this is part of why we're all here. There are shortcuts to many things where we can see the conclusion without having to think very, very far on the sides. We sort of have a short, efficient, linear move to exactly what we need to do. Uh, and some people just work very, very, very hard, and some people don't sleep very well, and so on and so forth. Like tired is just such a tremendously packed concept. And once we meditate for a while, and a little bit of the vibrational sensitivity comes in, and we start to think, okay, let's just start basic stuff, right? Clear the left, clear the right, make sure we do our foot soak. We had a good sleep, and then we start to have this view about ourselves. We start to slowly understand what's a little too much, what's a little too little. Sometimes, if we have a more specific kind of context, something like a mentor could, we could go through a bit more detail.
Okay. Let's see if we have any other questions here. Okay, so very interesting questions coming in, and some of them are really well handled by our Sahaja Yoga teachers and the breakout room help. And so what we'll do now is we will bring to a close the formal part, or the main part of our program that's being broadcast. And I extend great appreciation to Andre and Shivani, and of course, Shaktidar, for joining us for this program. Thank you.
It was lovely to be with everybody. Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, so now before we completely wrap up, we have a few more announcements. And that is that we'll be back tomorrow with the next chakra, number 2, the Swadhisthana Chakra. And hope you join us then. We continue to have breakout rooms available for people who want to request them. And there'll be people who are Sahaja Yoga teachers who can handle your questions even now. And they'll stay on a bit longer, even after we close our broadcast. So have a very enjoyable rest of the day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining us.